to LAJA's podcast. LAJA is India's first forum for women, and the podcast series have been started to support women in business, especially the members at LAJA. Today we have a very senior educator with us. She's none other than Miss Meena Shah. Welcome, Meena, to today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Riddhi, and I'm a very, very proud member of LAJA.
Thank you. And she has been one of the oldest member at LAJA as well. Tell us something about you, Meena.
So I am an educator and also an author. And teaching has been my passion, and I still continue it for so many years. So I'm so glad that I'm an educator and able to influence so many children and parents all over India, and yes, even in the world.
Yes, absolutely. Meena, you have been into the field of teaching since last 4 decades.
Yes.
This is a field where people feel that kahin pe bhi job nahi mila, let's become a teacher. What got you into teaching, the field of teaching, and what inspired you to become an educator?
So I think it has always been my calling. Even as a child, I remember teaching children in my own building and of course my own friends, in school. And I also give a lot of credit to the teachers I had. So I still remember my teachers, the teachers who taught me Hindi, Marathi, even social studies, and of course English and math. How can I forget that? So I had some wonderful teachers. I studied in St. Joseph's Convent in Bandra, and I had wonderful teachers. And I like to think that I emulate them today, and I'm able to, reach out to so many parents and children.
Brilliant. I've always heard you talking that learning has to be interesting, teaching has to be interesting.
Yes.
How do you make that happen for your students?
So I very much believe, as you said, that learning has to be fun. If we want to keep children engaged in learning, if we want to build on their curiosity, it has to be something which is fun and interesting. So I do a lot of games, and I use gamification for my teaching. So I believe that if learning is a game, who wouldn't want to learn? Would you want to learn or not if it was a game?
Absolutely.
So yes, learning should be a game. It should be a lot of fun, and I use a lot of games in my learning. I also believe in experiential learning as well as a lot of hands-on activities. So I do a lot of these while I am teaching.
Oh, that makes me ask you that what is gamification and why do you think it's important for children?
So when the pandemic came, we went online. We started teaching online. And when we teach online, it can be extremely monotonous and boring unless it is made a lot of fun. And that is where the gamification came in. And as I said, during the pandemic, I started my website. I thought, why not start a website where children can come and learn? So that started Star Child. So Star Child was also one of my books, and I took the name from there.
Oh.
And initially I created worksheets which children could come and answer. But then I realized just answering, right or wrong or whatever, selecting answers is not enough. There has to be something more. And that is where gamification came in. I looked up a lot of games that children were playing, whether it was PUBG or, the other games that they were playing during that time. And I realized that there were many levels in it. And children had to cross one level to another. And that is what kept them going in the game. And yes, they were rewarded. As every level, they were rewarded. So when I noticed that, I said, why not inculcate this into my website? So thus, I brought in gamification, which includes rewarding and motivating children, as well as going from one level to another so that they feel their progress. And as they progress, of course, they want to learn more and more. So this is how gamification works.
How lovely. In fact, they must be looking forward to having
Absolutely.
all this
Yes.
small processes.
Yes, absolutely. I realize that children thoroughly enjoy it, and they want more and more of it. And of course, there are many online games available. So when I'm teaching certain concepts, I also use online games, whether they are word games or they are games in math, or it is about learnings in, like tables and multiplication and division. So all those things make it very, very interesting for children. Children who don't want to learn, for example, I had these children from the US who were learning with me, and I found they did not know tables. But the minute we started learning through games, simple games. For example, we had this coconut throwing game, and if they got it right, then the coconut would fall on the particular, sum, and they gained a point. So, or they had to shoot. Or there was another one in which it was, I think basketball.
Oh.
So, so it's a lot of fun for them when they do it that way. And every morning, instead of saying, no, we don't want to do tables, it would be, let's do that first.
Lovely.
And the parents, of course, were very, very happy because children were learning their tables finally. So they made a lot of progress, and yes, they look forward to it.
Lovely, lovely. So while you were talking about gamification, you also used the word experiential learning. What do you actually mean by experiential learning, and how do you think that parents can use that sort of learning processes at home?
So experiential learning is nothing but learning through experience.
Okay.
Now we keep learning throughout our life, and all that is learned mainly through our experiences. So like for example, I would give you a very simple example. Your child is 4 years old. He's learning about traffic lights. If you are passing, in your car or in an auto and you are passing through a traffic light, show them the traffic lights. And show them, look, hey, it went green. See, our car started.
Oh.
Or it's a red, that's why we stopped. Now, when the child sees that, he immediately understands.
And he will remember for long.
Forever, yes. Not for long, but forever.
Oh, yes, yes.
Or if you're in a garden, you see a banyan tree, prop roots, point that out. What are those? Why are they? What is the purpose? So this kind of learning can constantly happen, and parents should always do it. I very much believe in it. So apart from learning in schools, the learning which happens at home is the most important. And if it's done by parents, I assure you it's always there.
So it is rightly said that when you preach a child, the child will not remember for long.
Absolutely.
But if you show the child remembers that thing forever.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wonderful. I love this. Meena, today there's a focus on conceptual learning and not rote learning. What is your opinion on this, and what things should be learned by rote?
Yes. So, like I remember as a child, I was told again to go back to tables, that learn your tables by heart. I hated it. I simply hated it. I only wanted to write what I remembered or say what I remembered. So we go back to conceptual learning, where if I knew my concept, I could answer correctly. And I think that it's very, very important, and I'm so glad that we are going, towards that. If children know their concepts well, if they understand the matter well, they can answer anything.
However it is twisted, they will
Correct.
learn.
Yes, they will learn, they will be able to answer those questions, they will be able to apply them. So it is very, very important, and I'm glad that our schools are going that way. On the other hand, rote learning cannot be completely thrown away. There are some things which have to be learned by rote. So yes, tables, multiplication tables, formulae, definitions, even spellings, certain spellings which are not, you are not able to spell phonetically. So those have to be learned by heart. Meanings also sometimes. So, and science formulae, math formulae, even those are very important. So those need to be at the tip of your tongue. So yes, that is very important in rote learning.
So conceptual learning is important, but rote learning also. So you can't just say that it's not helpful.
Yeah.
I understand
it is part of the learning. It is a part of the ways of learning.
Absolutely. Meena, you have authored few books, and I have been using those books as well for my child in the initial growing years.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, so again, to go back to my childhood, I always wanted to be an author. And as a matter of fact, I come from the illustrious family of Nana Lal Kavi, who is the poet laureate of Gujarat.
Yes.
So that of course inspired me. And my grandmom, she wrote novels in Gujarati.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to be very much like her. However, instead of writing stories and poems, I wrote workbooks for children. So that began with my own son when he was in standard 5, and that time ICSE did not have any workbooks for children. And parents, moms like me, would sit and write exercises, and they had to sit and, my son would sit and answer. And then I realized that if it's just so useful to Kahan, my son. It would be so useful to so many of his friends. So I decided to print these books. Of course, my husband was very much, against it. And he told me, Taru, nak kapai jase. Who will buy your books, So I said, no, I want to do this. So he's been always very supportive and he said, yes, okay, go ahead. And I printed 100 books. I went to the local bookstores and I sold them. And they were such a hit that I would see children in my building studying from those books.
Oh, lovely.
Which gave me such a sense of pride. And then I decided to go on. And this actually the first venture brought in a publication from Delhi, the Janta Book Depot, and they gave me a chance to write the Olympiad workbooks.
Oh.
So I went on to write 2 series of Olympiad workbooks. One is the English one, which is called The Little Genius, and the second one is Trailblazer, which is for science. Mm-hmm. So of course, I had to do a lot of research, a lot of work. I would work till almost 2 in the morning every day because my son was small. My husband, of course, needed attention, as in he would go early to office, and it was difficult for me. I had to work throughout the night also. But I thoroughly enjoyed that process, and I'm so glad I did it. And today, yes, I run even Olympiad preparation classes for children. And yes, I'm so glad I'm doing it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Should children participate in competitions, Meena? And how often the parents should be doing that?
Yeah, so I notice a lot of kids going for so many competitions. And I feel there is a lot of pressure on them, to excel. So yes, of course they should go for competitions, but I feel they should go for competitions which are beneficial to them.
Absolutely.
I think parents should look at the purpose, as to why is the child going in for the competition. Is he ready to do it? Is he happy to do it? Some children are not competitive, and if they have to put in, effort in the schoolwork as well as these kind of competitions.
It's a pressure once again.
Yes. So I very much believe that parents should examine the purpose behind it. And also see the timings, like if it's sort of, colliding with their exam dates or test dates, it becomes too much for them. So maybe one should choose exactly what we require and then go in for it. So that would be very, very much helpful for the children.
So the child enjoys the process as well, and it's not a pressure,
Absolutely.
One more pressure on the child.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I understand that. Aajkal, Meena, every child as young as 3 and 4 also goes to coaching classes or tuitions.
Yes.
What is your view on that?
Yeah, so I also take tuitions. So, however, what I realize is that, if parents would tutor their own children, it would make a huge difference. Children are more eager to learn from their parents than from a teacher. So, and of course, the bonding is so much better. And I think today, with the level of education that all of us parents have, we can easily teach children at least up to, say, grade 4 or grade 5.
Absolutely.
And there may be, of course, the time when you cannot teach your own child. Maybe you do not have the expertise in a particular subject. So I think that is the time when your child can move out. But other than that, yes, children should learn on their own. Why not? They must take the responsibility and they must learn on their own. And secondly, parents should help them. It's only when it is really required that they should go in for tuitions.
Otherwise, parents' involvement is necessary.
Very necessary.
I absolutely agree with you. And while you were talking about the worksheets and your authored books, you also spoke about Star Child. Where do you see Star Child in next 5 years from now?
So I have realized that the moment I have jumped in as a teacher, and as I begin teaching, as I've started teaching, I do vocabulary classes, I've started teaching Vedic Maths, of course we do the Olympiad training, and today I see Star Child doing very well. And I think 5 years later, we should be, doing very, very well.
Amazing, amazing, yeah. Amazing. So if you put in Google as, which is that application which helps for children, especially something which is very conceptual.
Yes.
I think Star Child would lead that SEO, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think so too.
Lovely, lovely. Any new initiatives of yours in the near future, Meena?
Yes, so I am coming up with the Star Child English Champ.
Oh, lovely.
So we are going to have this as an offline competition, and we'll probably do it by the beginning of June. So children have, they can use the summer to prepare for it. So we are looking at doing this competition soon. I've already begun preparations for it. You will soon be seeing the ads.
Amazing, amazing.
So this is one more branch, which I'm going into.
And how do people reach out to you?
Yes, so they can, of course, you can always WhatsApp me. I will share my details.
Sure.
And yes, my email, of course, is there. You can email me too at meenashah7@hotmail.com.
Brilliant. So now you know whether it's summer vacation, Christmas vacation or Diwali vacation, you can always involve your child in doing something which is enriching and yet experiential. And you also know whom to approach. It's none other than an educator, very senior educator, Miss Meena Shah. Thank you so much, Meena, for being a part of today's podcast.
Thank you so much indeed. It has been a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And to all the viewers, keep watching LAJA's podcast, because we'll be coming back soon with yet another subject matter expert, yet another LAJA member with one more story of perseverance and resilience. Thank you so much. Thank you, Meena.
Thank you.